On a Thick Thigh Thursday. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. Please share the live. That's the first thing. Share, share, share. Send it to your friends. Send it to anybody you feel like would benefit from being here and hearing these words of confidence, this support that you are getting here. Remember, I am Seisha. I am Thick Thigh Yoga. This is what I do. I talk to people about their confidence. I'm a coach. I'm a yoga teacher. Um, and so, if you are wondering, there's a lot of ways that we need to take the leap. That we may be feeling like we're held back. That we may feel like we need a little bit more. Hi, more support, and the ways that we like just kind of need to get to know ourselves a little bit better. It's hard. It is hard in this day and age to get to know yourself. There's so many things that go on as far as like the thoughts, the messaging that you receive, the advertisements, the selling, the makeup, the waist trainers, the just filters, the filtered videos, all the crap. Hey, all the crap that we see, all the things that we're advertised, all those things. It's hard to see so much that feels like it's so far away from you, right? So like that's what I always see when it comes to like the advertisements that we get and the things that we see. That it's like, oh, here's how you be somebody else real hard, right? And like I want you to put a hand or a heart in the chat. Put a heart in the chat if that's exactly how you feel, right? Like this is every advertisement that you see is telling you to be somebody else. It's telling you to look like something else, telling you your body needs to look like something different. To like put it in the chat. Yeah, facts for you. Word. Like this is what it is. Every single thing we're seeing all these ads all the time. And it's like, well, be this and do this and try this. And like, I think what's rough and what's like kind of hard to deal with in that space is that we get this all the time. We receive it all the time. We're constantly being told like you need to do different. You need to look like this, wear this, have this on. Even the thank you for the hearts. Yes, 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 right? Even the like the when it comes to like taking on these things, taking on that like I don't know, that ownership of like, I need to look like this and I'm supposed to buy these things and I'm supposed to go here and whatever. Like, all of those things are hard on us. It's hard to take it in. It's hard to look at because it just makes you judge yourself. It makes you question makes you question like what you want to do, what you actually want out of your life. It makes you like ask questions like, okay, so do I actually want this or why am I striving for this when I don't even want it? Right. And then but you compare yourself to the things that you compare yourself um to the posts, to the videos, to the extravagant things, and it happens all the time. Like we constantly do this, and I understand. I'm not saying that I don't fall victim to this. Have you felt fallen victim to this? Drop a hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. I want to see the hands. If you feel like this is you, like, and you've been through this, I absolutely need you to raise your hand, right? Because like these things here, like we're always told to purchase. Like I said, we're always told to buy. We're always told to go. We're always told to do. But it's like, how am I supposed to, right? How am I supposed to maintain this? How am I supposed to handle this? How am I supposed to afford this, right? And I feel like because there are so many of these like levels of things and we hear this all the time, it's hard for us to kind of take that separation and take the step back to say like, okay, well, is this even what I want? I feel like this is making somebody else happy, but is this actually what I want? And the thing is that sometimes, yes, what's going to make this person happy is also going to make you happy. Is also going to help you. Is also going to put you in a place to have things that you want, things that you like, things that like are going on. Like, yes, I get it. But sometimes, and honestly, a lot of times, like that ain't for you. That's not the one. And that's hard, right? That's hard for you to like kind of deal with and accept and take on and say, okay, well, you know what? This one isn't for me. I need to go for what's for me. And here we are back at the purpose here, right? So my monthly newsletter for June, which came out this Monday, is based on taking the leap, right? So if you're a reader, if you're a person that like wants to see the words, wants to see the examples, things like that, make sure that you sign up to my newsletter so it comes right to your inbox. But it is available on my website, including the archive of the newsletters, right? Also, if you like, again, if you're a reader, if you're a writer, if you're a journaler, my newsletters always have a couple journal questions in there, right? And so I have the digital journals. If you were looking to buy that, buy something new, get something new. But again, if you don't want to buy it and you have a journal, okay, well, the journal prompts are there for you already for free. That is just accessible. I want you to be able to find a little bit more depth within yourself. And if that leads to a breakthrough, then more power to both of us. But again, this still has to be based on you, what makes sense for you, what you want to do, and the growth that you want to make. And I feel like a lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, well, I just want to do yoga like you do and be on the beach and be this and do this and like do a split and whatever. And like, if your goals are those physical goals, great. Let's go to yoga. Come to my class. Come to a session. Book a session. Let's do it. I'm down, right? But I don't know if that's going to lead to your level of happiness. I don't know, right? Yes, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Get the likes up. I love it. I appreciate it. Send those likes. If it's anything, then it causes more attention, and that's what I need here. So I appreciate you. Right? Please share, send, like, put your comments in. I want you here, but I also need this message shared, and that's just a thing. Right? So people, especially because I feel like more people need to hear this. If you agree that maybe more people need to hear this, just share it. That's all you have to do. You're not responsible for talking to anybody else about what they think or how they feel. Let me do that part. Okay. But give them the opportunity to get their ears here. Okay. Back to what I was saying, right? So we try things all the time that are like super low level or super easy. We do things all the time. We work hard all the time instead of maybe working a little smarter, or instead of avoiding the things that we don't need to do in this space, right? We can do that. We can be nicer to ourselves and do that. We can take it on differently and actually only take on the things, for the most part, right? We still gotta like adult, but we can choose to just take on the things that actually matter to us. We can just make that choice, and we can work on ourselves enough to feel like that is good enough. Hey, thank you so much. Your name is so cute. So, so here, right? When you decide to take the leap, when you decide like, okay, I have to change, I have to do something, I have to change my life. Usually that's when people book consultations with me, right? And we're talking about it, and it's like, look, I don't know what I need to do. I don't know. I don't trust my body. I don't understand what I need to do. I don't know how to do yoga. I don't know how to listen to myself. I don't know what I need. I don't know how to eat, right? Like I need meal prep. I need this, that, and the other. Like there's so many levels of the things that you feel like you need. But like when you add on all of those elements, then it feels like, oh, but I need 10 things to even start. So I'm just not gonna, right? Have you felt that way? Yes? Yes? Raising hands? I appreciate the raised hands. Yes. Right. Cause like real, you have to own it. You have to do these things and set up these things and like start, right? And you're saying as a man, I can't do yoga. And that is absolutely not true. That is not zero. It's 0% true. It is the only way you can't do yoga is if you're not breathing anymore. Hey, that's it. You can't. And then other than that, until you get to that point, you can. And I fully believe that. Do I think it's going to be the same? Is it going to look the same in my body as it does in yours, as it does in somebody else's, as whatever? No, those are the things. If you can breathe, you can do it. That's it. So I get it, right? Like it feels like, oh, well, so now I don't trust this. I don't trust myself. I don't trust my thought process. I don't know how to do it. And okay, I promise you this. How many things in your life have you had to figure out, whatever, that you couldn't do when you started? I promise you, if everyone here was birthed, then it was everything. Okay. If you were born, you had to figure out how to do things that you could never do before. Right. And when you were younger, the things that you liked, you just liked. And that was easy, and that was clearer, and it was simple, right? It was, yes, yeah, right? It was so much easier. It was so much simpler. The thoughts weren't in your head. The people weren't in your head. There was nobody's opinion in the back of your head. There was nobody holding you down or keeping you away from those things that you actually wanted to do, right? The only time people were keeping you away from it was like if you wanted, like you had that little kid energy and you wanted to jump off the bridge into the lake and your parents are grabbing you back. Yes, they stopped you, right? For your life, for your safety. Now you have gotten older, and I feel like we just had this conversation at lunch. My friend Andy is here in the live, right? That like I feel like when we get older, it's as if we feel like we're supposed to know everything. And a lot of it, we're treated as if we're supposed to know everything, right? And we don't. We just don't know everything. We just don't know everything. And like as a teacher myself, right? I have a master's degree in education, but I'm a certified yoga teacher. As a teacher, I believe in giving more, like taking more education, right? We're always students, right? I want to give you the education. I want to give you the learning. I want to be a teacher. I want to be able to teach you the things that make sense for you, for your body to be able to move. And I'm not the only one. Like real teachers actually care about this, right? So it doesn't have to be me. I always say that. Would I love it if you booked with me? Absolutely. Of course. Always. Does it have to be me? No, I don't have to be the one. Maybe it's somebody who's local to you. Maybe you're not in Florida. Okay, that's fine. Go do it local. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't know about doing it online. Try it out. It's one session. It's online. Like you have a lot of options. But you really do have to be able to like identify what is calling you and just take step one. Step one is showing up. Step one is trying. Step one is believing that there is a space for you here, that there is a place that you could go in your body, that you could find more alignment, that you could find a bigger breath, that you could find some calm, some peace. And again, if it's not yoga and you're like at your job and it's holding you back and you don't know what to do, I always feel like, honestly, I always say that like yoga pours into those things. If you can learn how to breathe through a situation, you can do it, right? I can't, I'm stiff and broken and definitely not flexible. And honestly, if you're going to give yourself that, that kind of roadblock, yeah, no, you can't. That's fine. Are you going to go lay down and die? Like, I can't do anything about that either. But if you're going to give yourself any chance, any grace, any support, any thought, you're worth it. You're worth that time. You're worth that value. You can do that. Like I'm just real. And because that was something else that we said, like if you came to Seisha, you came to hear it straight. I say it with love, right? And a smile on my face, but it's going to be straight. This is what you're going to get. This is how this works. If you are willing to put in the work to find more flexibility and more access and more space in your body, you can do that. It is available to you. It exists. But that fear of taking the leap, of taking that step forward, of trying something different, trying something new, of going out, and again, that's anything, right? So like when I talk to my coaching clients, it is a little different, right? So we talk about not just the physical yoga part in your body, right? Like when we tailor these sessions towards your body and what it needs. But not only that, we're talking about like your actual confidence, your confidence in yourself, the way you view yourself, the things that you feel like you need, and like identifying what's missing here. What's the part that you feel like, oh, well, I don't have enough of this, so I can't do that, right? If you can't do this, if you feel like, oh, it's just so overwhelming, that's why you need a coach. That's why you need a teacher. That's the point of finding a coach, finding a guide, finding a leader, finding a teacher, finding somebody that is going to be able to hold your hand in a way and support you and show you the ways that it makes sense, right? The ways that it makes sense for you, for your body, for your mind. Taking those roadblocks out of the way, putting them in a place where, yes, we see them and we can identify these are the things that I don't like or things that I'm not comfortable with. These are not things that are impossible for me to deal with. Right? Those are two different things. And I feel like that's always a thing when I talk to people and it's like, oh, well, I can't do anything and I don't want to, I don't know if I can actually get to this space because like one time my hamster died and now I'm really sad and I never really recouped from that and I can't. All right, then you want the excuse, baby. That's it. Like, you can have it. You can absolutely have it. I'm not going to take that excuse away from you. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate it. I always appreciate it. Thank you for sending the gifts. Thank you for sharing the laughs. Those are the things that really they make a difference for us here. Thank you, Larry. Thank you so much. So taking the space for yourself to say, okay, so what are the things that I actually want to do? What do I actually want to do? Listen, anything. It could be anything. Okay. What are the things that I actually want to do? What things here that not only do I want to do them, I want to do them long term. I want to complete this. I want to be like this, whatever this is. And then find out the things that you feel like lead you there and set reasonable goals. That's always hard. That's always hard to do. Another thing a coach can help you with. But that's always hard to do. Set reasonable goals. Because when you set unreasonable goals, you are setting yourself up for failure. Right? And so that includes when you make your goals, things that you don't actually give a crap about. Your goals are unattainable when you don't care about them. Your goals are completely unattainable if this doesn't have any value for you, if it doesn't matter for you, if it doesn't help your family, if it doesn't do any good for you, right? Like if it doesn't help you be the person you actually want to be more, if it doesn't help you feel more fulfilled, right? Like people say, you're doing yoga in your room right now. I love it. And I hope it's from a video in the Thighberry, right? Oh, and shout out to the new members of the Thighberry. I opened up my broadcast channel on Instagram. So if you're here on Instagram, or if you are on Instagram, make sure you join that broadcast channel. We're having some conversations. I've asked some questions. There's some polls. There are some that I left you guys a message, a voice note. Check it out. Look into it. I would love to have you there. And then the Thighberry gives you the option to take my classes on your schedule, right? Look at the videos, take the classes whenever you want. And that's what I want for you. Thank you so much. The blessings. I appreciate it. And so like I was saying, when we get into this space where it's like, okay, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to like I said, maybe I want to do yoga. So I'm in a space where I want to try to do yoga. If you only go for the highest level of all the yoga, we talked about this last week. I can't remember who was on. I know it was somebody from TikTok, and they were like, every time I do yoga, I hurt myself. And I was like, well, are you taking classes or whatever? It was like, no, I'm just pushing myself to look like the videos. All right. Well, we've hit the reason this is a problem very quickly. Talk to a teacher, talk to somebody who can give you guidance, or at least very much follow the classes. Follow the classes in the ways of what is said. Now, I've never heard or seen a video of a teacher just being like, push, I don't care how far it is, get in that split, ho. I've never seen that. Never, not one time in my life. I have seen videos of teachers physically pushing people, in my opinion, too far. But those people wanted those results. They were paying for this session. That's all the way your business, right? But when you have the opportunity to take like a good class from a good teacher who cares about modifications, cares about your body, cares about the options that you should be able to take, and wants to give you options, give you modifications, use props as needed, give you the support that your body actually does require and would benefit from, yeah, that has a lot of value. You should actually want to participate in this. And it's hard to hear it. It's hard to see it. Thank you for 1,000 likes on the live. I appreciate you. Let's keep it up. Let's keep adding to it. Like, share, send. But as you do this, right? Like as you get to learn your body better, you'll learn where those blocks are. You'll learn where you have to stop. You'll learn where you should kind of give yourself a little bit of grace, a little bit of ease. You will learn how far you go. Because yes, a lot of people see yoga as just stretching. I've talked about that before. That's not what we're talking about right now. Regardless, your body should feel stretched, relieved, opened up. Space should be created in here. And like, I know yoga teachers say that, like, find space in your body and find this and that. And it sounds like it doesn't make sense until you actually do it, right? Until you actually try, until you actually do the practice. If you do those things, if you put that work in and participate in that way, you'll find it. You'll find when your body lands here. You'll feel the stretches in the right places. You can ask questions. What is this supposed to work? This pose? I feel it in the back of my leg. What does that mean? Well, yeah, it means a good hamstring stretch. It means you needed it and you got it, right? Those things are available to you. Yoga teachers, trained, certified yoga teachers have the knowledge. And so you have the right to take that space. You have the right to ask those questions. And you should want to understand what makes sense for your body, right? You should want to take that place, take that opportunity, take all of the information that that person can provide to you as your teacher, whether it's me or somebody else, because you can apply it to your body. And that's the thing when we get back to the mindset, right? I've had this discussion with people time and time again. Now, this is the question for y'all that are here, right? Do you feel like what works for you works for everybody else? Right? Yes or no? This is the yes or no. Drop it in the chat, right? Do you feel like what works for you, everything? I see it. I see it work for other people. It always works for me too. Yes. Or is it a no, right? Because sometimes it's no. No, I have tried the things, I've bought the things, I have ordered the things, I've watched the videos, and no, it doesn't work for me. No, not you. I get it, right? Nope. Nope. So so not always, right? So I'm not saying that there's no space. Of course, there's going to be some things that work for everybody. Oh my God, good buttered popcorn. How many people are saying no to this? Anyway, right? Sometimes things work for most people. Sometimes things like water, air, exercise, right? Generally works for a lot of people as far as like getting you going. But the type of exercise, right? If we get more specific, nah, that's not going to work for everybody. A hot power yoga class, ooh, let me tell you, I hate it. Don't do it. I don't like it. I won't do it. Does that mean it's wrong for you? Not at all. Right? And if you want to take a hot yoga class, you can take a hot yoga class. And if you feel like from that hot yoga class, it's really, I feel so good. I feel so like released and refreshed and I'm sweaty and I'm hot and I got all the toxins out of my, beautiful for you. No, I don't like it. My lungs don't like it. That's it. I love a yoga class. I will obviously create some sweat. I can do these things. I love vinyasa. I love moving. But what has helped me to understand is that I'm on my own journey. I love that. And that's exactly the point. That's what this is. Yoga is a journey. People always say, this is my yoga journey. This is my process. And learning your body again, that's a journey for you. Learning your actual like sense of self, your sense of style. Like, I feel like people that knew me when I got married were completely different than the people that I hung around when I got divorced. It was just, these are the people that I was around. This is what was right for my life at the time. And some people, longevity, and those are my folks, right? And then other people, you were meant for that time in my life and I can respect it. And now I respected it a different way. I respect what I've got going on now and I'm allowed to respect that space for myself, right? So do I feel like yoga, some form of yoga could work for everybody? I absolutely do. And that's my personal opinion. I don't know what's going to take that out of me as far as I'm concerned, but that's my opinion, right? Now, with that, do I think everything is for everybody? No, I just told you, I don't like hot yoga. I've tried hot yoga, hot Pilates, a couple other things. And I've tried hot yoga in more than one place and all the stuff, the different types of heat. I don't like it. And that's okay. Nobody is hurting because I don't like it, right? Mainly myself. But nobody is hurting from this. Nobody is at a loss from this. And the only person that would be at a loss if I continued to do it was me. I would be hurt. I would be upset. I would be uncomfortable. I would be whatever. Insert the thing here. Why would I do that to myself? Why would I do that to myself? And then so now I want you to take my example and I want you to apply it to your life, boo thing. Where are you hurting yourself? Where are you trying to fit in and just like, oh, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna do it, this is fine, this person, they like it, so I'm gonna do it. No. And like that doesn't mean nothing, right? There's definitely some space you can do. If it makes you happy, if it makes you happy to make this person happy, great. Are you even making this person happy? Will you get a chance to check your DM? Yes, I will after the live. So right, like if I have the opportunity to get to know myself better and to do things that make me feel good, great. If unfortunately my friends and my family aren't on the same wavelength, dang, that is rough. I wish somebody was here with me. I'm gonna find people in the space where I'm doing what I want to be doing. I feel love and passion for this thing, but my friends that I've known since kindergarten aren't into it, so I can't. What are we really talking about? You're gonna find the people that make sense in the space. Every retreat that I run, those girls stick together. Every retreat that I run, those girls stick together, right? We are in those group chats. We are having these conversations. We're supporting each other. We got family issues. We've got accidents. We've got graduations. We've got new apartments. We've got that group support happening because people were willing to show up. Right? This is why I do this. This is why I create this space. This is why you should be here in October for the next retreat. And this is where you're going to find the people that actually support you in the space. This is why I want to be one of these people. This is why I've created the resources that I have. This is why I have my online classes. This is why I do this. This is why I connect with you guys. Because I think a lot of us feel like we're the only one. I'm the only one going through this. I'm the only one suffering from this. I'm the only one dealing with this as a problem. I'm the only one, and I don't know what to do about it. And it's so rough and it's so hard. And that, unfortunately, we are allowed to feel that way. You're allowed to feel that way. Feel it. Get it out of your system. Cry it out. Be mad. Punch a pillow. Whatever. Right? But then you need to see that you're definitely not the only one. You're not the only one suffering. You're not the only one going through it. And I know. I'm saying this right here in a very light way, but there's a lot of heavy stuff happening, right? There's a lot of heavy things happening in the world. We know. And then like there's a lot of heavy things happening in your life, in your family, in your workplace, in whatever your level of stress, you're like, I get it. I totally get it. Like that's the real thing. That we can respect those feelings and we can move forward. We can say, okay, I that was hard, that was heavy, that was a lot. Now, what can I do about it? Or what space can I find for myself to like get this shit off my back? Right? This is why I believe in yoga so much, right? And we addressed that in our episode today on the podcast. So remember, Black on the Mat comes out every Thursday. We are finishing up season 1. It is a great time for you to check in there and like catch up. But today's episode featuring my friend Timothy from my yoga teacher training, where we talked about like mindfulness for Black people, for other bodied people, for people who are not seeing themselves in the wellness space, just like in yoga, right? You don't see bodies like this in yoga all the time. This is why I'm here, and this is why we're here. So I definitely felt that way, right? You feel like it's only you going through it. You feel like, oh my God, everything is so hard. And like, did y'all see see, this is how you know I ain't got no kids. Did you see Encanto when the girl, the strong one, Luisa, where she was like, oh, and I have to carry everything. Baby, you don't. Put it down, right? We were at the retreat in Bali. We were playing bag lady. Like, don't be the bag lady. Put it down. It's okay. You can release it. It's all right. Because you're not the only one going through this. You are caring for a sick parent. I'm so sorry. That's very heavy. You're not the only one going through this. you can find support. And realize that I'm not saying you're not the only one going through this, so suck it up. No, no, no. That was our parents. They said stuff like that. Let's pull it back in. You're not the only one going through this, so support is available, baby. There is a space for you. There is somebody that can support you through this, can work with you through it, has experienced this, knows what you're going through, knows how to deal with it, or at least how to just support you, right? Maybe you're like, oh, but I don't want to cry about it. It's easier to cry oh, I don't want to cry about it, but I'm here sobbing about it by myself in my house, in my bedroom, whatever. How much easier is it to actually just cry on somebody's shoulder and have them rub your back, right? A therapy session can feel like that. A coaching session can feel like that. A yoga session can feel like that. You can get that support. You can get somebody paying attention to you, what you need, where you need to pour out, all of those things. It is totally possible for you. But are you going to take it? If you choose not to, then remember, when everything does in fact crumble on top of your head and you feel like, oh, well, now I'm 10,000 leagues under the sea and this is the worst, and I actually did break my back or my hip, or I got this or got that, I fell apart. You fell apart because you kept putting stuff on your back and not letting yourself or anyone else take them off. And again, in that concept of getting to know yourself well, you might even be taking on something that belongs to God knows who. Who told you to do that? Who told you to participate in this? Who told you that you needed to be a part of this, that you needed to go this direction, that you needed to do it like this? Was it our parents that grew up in a completely different life and world and financial situation and level of education and abilities and options versus us? Because that might not be a good idea. Or, or you could actually take your time and find the right resources, right? Like, so if conversations like this are really making sense to you, remember that all of my Think Fat Thursdays, the ones by myself where I'm doing this confidence coaching and stuff, is online, is on YouTube, is available for you to play it back, look at the topics, talk it through, ask your questions in the comments. Like, I want those things to still grow. These things live. This isn't just a right now thing. A lot of times we need to process, which is also why I post my journal questions. So if you're in the Words broadcast channel, then you'll get the journal questions. And if you want more than that, then in the library, my members, they have new questions every month. Those questions are longer. There's more, and not necessarily that they're longer questions. There's more of them, so you have more time to process and take what you want and leave the rest. Like, that's a part of this too, and that's kind of the biggest part of deciding what leaps you want to take. Right? So that, again, we're back to the newsletter, right? Where there is risk, there is reward. If you're willing to take a risk, if you're willing to take a leap, if you're willing to try, you are willing to gain so much more than if you didn't. Than if you didn't try, than if you didn't set it up this way, than if you decided otherwise for yourself. I don't want to do this. I want to do that. So I'm only going to follow that path. Remember, we talked about setting yourself some reasonable goals. I'm only going to follow this path. I'm only going to follow it this far. And I'm going to get off the train right here because this is where I want to be. I'm not going to feel like I'm derailed when I'm right here because I know it takes all these steps. I know that because I worked with Seisha, or I worked with a coach, I worked with a teacher, I worked with somebody who knows how to help me guide myself that way, how to create those steps for me. And that's the best way for me to work through this. I found support, and I'm willing, and I have to do it. Like, because there's some things that we go through that are just happening in life. Again, family things, life things, financial things, job things, they're happening. And it's like, it feels like it's happening to you or like at you, right? If you don't have any way to control your thoughts, your thought processes, your mind, no way to clear out the way you're feeling. Every time I talk to like a frustrated mom or frustrated teacher, or just, well, those are Those are my people. But anybody else, right? Like everybody has this space. When I talk to people who are freshmen, I'm like, well, when's the last time you did this? When's the last time you saw your friends or just had a day to like kind of decompress or moved your body appropriately? Like go to yoga, go to Zumba, go to the gym and just hit all the machines, your circuit, whatever it is. When's the last time you did that, right? Those are spaces that like I just always try to tap back into. We have the ability to do so much for ourselves. Are you doing it? Are you choosing it? Or are you choosing something completely different? Are you choosing to put yourself on the back burner and again, carry the weight and let it bear down on you and let you feel alone? Let yourself feel like there's nothing and there's no one. There's someone. There's opportunities, especially now, right? This is the internet. Y'all are literally all seeing me on the internet, whether this is live, whether you're watching it in the playback later, whatever it is. We're all here via the internet. How did you find this? Because you needed it. How did you find it? There's probably some search terms, or you're a follower, or this, or that. There's plenty of reasons. There's plenty of ways for you to find it. So if you can have resources like this readily available, you can also find other resources. You can find other spaces and things that you need. And like I said, all of these conversations are available on my YouTube channel. If you're looking, there's a whole Thick Fat Thursday playlist. So I do want you to go back to that if you are looking for more information, or if you're like, you know what, nah, Stacia, me and you, we need to be in this. I need to book a session. You can always go to thickthightyoga.com. And you can always book. You can always find me. I want to work with people that are ready to work. That's it. That's the rule. I just want to work with people who are ready to work. And it's kind of hard to know what you want to work on when you're following, right? When you're just looking at this, when you're just going by what's going on online, while you're just getting that social media impact and feedback versus the concept of like, no, I've been introspective. I've looked at myself. What motivates me or what I'm motivated to do is within me, right? It's a goal in my life. It's something that I want to achieve or accomplish or be around or whatever. You have the right. You absolutely have the right to do that. You have the opportunity to do that. But if you're not taking it, if you're not choosing the right guidance, or if you're following the wrong way, or if you're just, again, letting those things pile up so you feel like it's 10 things and then you're like, oh, but I'm falling apart because now I got to hold all this stuff and I don't know. Yeah, I'm so sorry that that's a space that you are in. Once you get out of that, once you take a step, take a leap, because it's not about getting out of it completely. It's not about, oh, I'm not going to be depressed anymore. Right. And it's hard to just like to say like, okay, well, I'm going to do different. I'm so unmotivated trying to get out of this stuck phase right now. Right. Totally a thing. Very reasonable. It happens to all of us. Life is hard. Things pile up. The thing is, are you doing anything to really be better for yourself? Because then you have to take on the ownership of, oh, I'm not doing anything to be better for myself. I'm not doing anything to help myself. I'm not doing anything to grow. I'm not doing anything to feel stronger or better or happier or whatever. I'm just going through the motions. I promise you, going through the motions, chugging along is only good for trains. That's it. And unless you are a train, again, we came back to birth. Everybody who was birthed, right? Unless you're a train, it's not for you. It's not worth it. It's not going to do it. It's not going to get the job done. You're not going to be the person you need to be at the end of it. So there's value in just doing it the hard way. Again, pouring in, going inward, turning in and finding like, well, what's actually going to make me happy? And honestly, I know that can be an upsetting space. It can be hard to deal with. Can be hard to figure out and like identify and get to. And that's exactly why I say like, so go to a teacher, go to a coach, go to somebody that can give you those resources, right? You can follow for free. You can follow anybody for free. You can find so much stuff on YouTube for free. You can do these things for free. If you want to invest in your growth and invest in what you've got going on, you have those options as well. But none of those things happen without you taking the first step. Whatever that first step is, literally nothing can happen. And Sorry. um, but literally nothing can happen in that first step. Like unless you take that first step. And like the fact that you may be questioning it, you may not know all that. This is why we have teachers. This is why you have people in these leadership roles. This is why you have spaces to go and check out and find resources and all those things. I want you to make sure you know that you have those things available to you. So I'm getting ready to close out. It's almost 7. So things that I need you to know. I am, as I said, I started my broadcast channel on Instagram. What's going to happen in the next week is, or next week, not in the next week, but what's going to happen next week. I put a poll in my broadcast channel. I don't know why I can't think of this name ever. I put a poll in my broadcast channel about times of day that people are the most available to get on the mat, or the most interested in getting on the mat. With that, I'm going to do some lives that are just going to be for my subscribers there in the broadcast channel, checking on the times that, checking in the time slots that were stated, right? Getting a little bit more detailed in there and giving you the opportunity to flow with me live in the morning, afternoon, whatever you said was right, okay? From that, as we decide what's what, we see where people are just the most responsive, the most able to participate and things like that. That's where the subscriber only lives are going to really start to build themselves. Hey, right? So as we get into that space, you'll see more of that stuff popping up. I am checking and, like I said, building out the times that make the most sense for us as people. I don't want to do this for no one. I love being a part of these conversations with you, but I can't do that without you. So that's the thing. I need you to show up. And in this case, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Blessed and joyful. See, you are all definitely blessed and joyful. Blessed and joyful people are willing to bless others. I believe in that 100%. With that, I hope to see you again. This live is going to be available on YouTube in like 60 seconds. And if you have stuff to add, if you want to go back in the conversation and be a part of it, you can add in your comments. You can add in your thoughts. I would love to hear them. If you have ways that you've worked through this, I always want you to give that information and advice. And no, it's not going to work for everybody. But again, we talked about that. What works for everybody? Almost nothing, right? Air and water. That's where we at. And like sleep, like just these are the normal things, the things your body needs that works for everybody. Everything else is going to be a little bit more choice based, right? It's going to be more on what actually works for you, what's right for you, what makes sense for you. And I want you to find that. And if I can help you, if I can be the guide to that, I absolutely will. And if you feel like I can't and somebody else is more appropriate for that, then you should talk to them. You should take the step. You deserve to feel better than you do right now. If that's not great. And like, we all have ups and downs. But if you know that it is time for you to take a step, it's time for you to take a leap. Maybe you need to read through this month newsletter that, reminds you about the risk and reward situation. And then maybe it's time to take the next step. So I'll see you in class on Saturday morning. And all next week, like I said, if you are in my broadcast channel on Instagram, you should see some more lives from me popping up. And I can't wait for that. Also, next week is Juneteenth. It's going to be the last episode of Black on the Mat for the season 1 episodes. And so if you are already on YouTube, you can hop right over and watch those. If you are not on YouTube watching this right now, when you get a chance, do that. The links are definitely up there on my page. And I appreciate you so much for being here. How do I get signed up for the newsletter? Real quick. So if you're in my broadcast channel on Instagram, I send out a link to the newsletter, so you could just check in that little chat box. But if not, go to thickthighyoga.com, thickthighyoga.com. It's up here. It's me. Thickthighyoga.com. You can go there right at the top, across the top, you're going to see the newsletter. right? I don't make it hard to find. I don't make me hard to find. I don't make it hard to book me. I don't make it hard to find me, to watch and do yoga with me, to pay me, to come on a retreat with me. I don't make it hard to do any of these things. So if you have any interest in them, they exist. Check the links. Thank you again. Thank you so, so much for being here. And I will talk to you soon.